Oh, we're not ready.
We
What's
live.
up? What's up? We live. We live. What's up,
We back,
everybody?
baby.
We back. We back. God is good. Well, I just want to welcome you all to Man Me Too. Man
Me
with
too.
three
Me too.
N's. Man Me Too. Some of us are I'm sure all of us are kind of going through some different things, but this platform here is geared for people, for males to reach out and, really have a platform to be able to speak out. I know we're going to have women on here, women on the live as well. You all can learn some things about us men, but this platform is geared for us to really recognize that we kind of go through a lot of the same things. So, yeah, this is Man Me Too, and I'm Scooter
Man, me too.
Lamont, and we have Carl Davis on the line. Go ahead and say a few things to the people.
What's going on, people? Welcome. I mean, I guess we're saying welcome, but I guess y'all welcoming us back. We the one who used to, we been
Right.
out, but we back. So we gonna start this conversation back up where we left it. We're not where we left it, but start the
But we
conversation back.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely start this conversation back up. We appreciate everybody who's going to be on, who's on already, maybe. But we just want to first of all, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We want you all to go to our YouTube page, and we want you all to go type in "man" with three N's, "man me too." I want you all to go like it, comment, share it, and I also want you all to hit the notification bell and subscribe to it. So every time that we put up content or anytime we put up any videos, you all are getting a notification on what we have going on, so you all can be tuned in. Also, if you all have any questions that you all would like to ask us, maybe we don't get a chance to get to it during the live portion. If you all have those questions, you all can email those to us at man with three N's. So MANNNMETOO@gmail.com. If you email those questions to us and we don't get a chance to get to them during our portion on the live tonight, we will make sure that we come back and answer those questions.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, so go ahead, Carl.
No, I didn't have. I'm just the hype man tonight.
Oh, you just a hype man tonight. Well, we have not been online for maybe it hasn't been a month, has it?
Maybe close. Maybe three
Maybe close.
weeks.
So, our stance on this, we want to make sure that we are being consistent with this because we all need a platform sometimes to kind of look at, and we want to make sure that we're pushing our content continuously. So we're not on every week, but we are trying to do every other week. But the reason we have not been on is because I have been sick, guys. I know everybody knows what's going on with this whole pandemic and what's going on in this world, but I have been sick with the
The COVID.
COVID-19. I have been sick, and when I tell you God is so great that He brought me through this thing, and a little later on I'll go into detail about what happened, but I just want to encourage you all right now in this moment to make sure that you all are protecting yourself. Males, protect your families. Females,
Right.
protect your family as well. The males not in the home, but males, guys, I need you all to make sure that you all are protecting your family in this time. The thing is, yeah, it is going to lessen the chance that you may get it, but just know that we need to wash our hands, wear our masks, all those type of things, because you don't want your family to come in contact with this. There's so many people that are dealing with underlying issues other than COVID-19, and you don't want to come into contact with those things. And there's so many people I've seen over the last week or so. There have been so many people on my timeline saying, "Oh, I have symptoms now," or I tested positive for the coronavirus. So we want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves at all costs. But guys, yes, I have been sick,
I
and I
want to
want
say,
to,
make sure y'all wearing y'all mask, okay? Don't be
yes,
out here in these streets
wear your mask.
without your mask on, man. Listen, this stuff is serious. Like
It's
it
serious.
really didn't hit home until you see somebody who real close to you going through some stuff, and it's like, wow. So yeah,
And that's the
protect
thing about
yourself.
it. Yeah, that's the thing about it. I know for a lot of people, it don't really hit home until either someone close to you get it or you get it yourself. And that's when people start to really focus in and pay and really try to protect themselves and also boost your immune system while you can before you get it, before you even come in contact with it. Make sure that you are boosting your immune system by taking vitamins, by exercising, by eating healthy. All those things help boost our immune system, so that if and when or if we come into contact with these things, it doesn't affect us as bad.
Right.
So before we get into all of those, I want to start with some would you rather questions.
Let's do it.
All right, so since you're on here, Carl, I'm going to be asking you these would you rather questions, and I want you to let me know what you would rather do, and I'll give mine as well. All right, so would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year of your life?
Wait, what's losing year of your life? Like you just go to sleep for a year?
Yeah, I guess so. You go to sleep and wake up, and a whole year has passed. Now, I want you
Easy.
to think about it because you got kids.
E-
You're going to miss out on a whole year of their life, your wife's life, your church, even yourself. It's
easy, easy, Scooter. I'm not going
easy.
to jail. I'm not
I know.
going to jail, bro. Listen, I catch you next birthday. Wait, my son gonna be 90. I catch you on your 10th birthday. Babe, I see you next May on our anniversary. Listen, I
Dang.
ain't doing no bid for no year. You
That
don't
is a
know what
long
go on.
time.
You don't know what go on behind them bars, man. Let me take this
Yeah.
long. Hey, I like sleeping anyway. Let me go and get this long nap in.
So you rather sleep for a whole year and
Then go
wake
to
up
jail. Then go to
and
jail. Yes.
everything has changed. You know how quick technology changed, how things change. Well, I guess if you in jail, you're gonna miss out.
Right. You can't get the new iPhone in jail. And if you do, you don't know how that baby got in there. So do you want it?
Right.
What
Okay,
about
so
you?
for me, that definitely would be an easy thing. I don't want to go to jail, prison, none of those things. I like my freedom. I like being able to move when I want to. I like if I go look out the window right now, I can go do that because
Right.
I have the liberty and the freedom
Not
to
like
go do
this.
that. I don't ever want to go to jail. So I guess I would take the lose a year of my life.
I
Sorry,
mean,
baby.
don't get me
I would,
wrong. That'll be tough. But compared to going to jail, hey,
yeah,
ah, can't do it. Can't do it.
All right, so we're gonna move on. All right, this is a good one. Would you always would you rather always be late 10 minutes to everything or be 20 minutes early to everything? Now, when you think about everything, I want you to think about your job, which that could be put at risk, church, funerals, those the only thing that start on time. You get there 10 minutes late and you done missed half
But if
the funeral.
you get to a wedding 20 minutes early, you're gonna be waiting about 2 hours.
Look, I
Oh,
went to a wedding that started 5 hours late
that's what I'm
once.
saying, man. Hey,
Oh man,
could I
would
just
you
not?
rather?
Could I just not go to certain places? Like, just I ain't going nobody wedding. I
But if you do go, you're gonna be either
20
10
minutes.
minutes late or you're gonna be 20 minutes early.
No, I'm gonna have to go with 20 minutes early.
Really? You know, you go to a party or go to, you be the first one there. Yeah, you got to sit there.
Yeah, because one side of my family, they be late, man. They be, dang, bro.
Yeah, my family be late too. We eat Thanksgiving dinner at nighttime.
That's hard.
Oh man, yeah,
I'm gonna
that's a hard one.
I'm gonna take 20. I'm gonna go with 20 minutes early because 10 minutes ain't that bad though. 10 minutes is that you could slide in 10 minutes and people not even know you wasn't on time for real.
Ooh.
You could just hit them with I was
Stuck in traffic.
I was in the back.
I was in the back.
You know what? I'm switching. 10 minutes late. I'm going 10 minutes late.
Dang. I would have to go with 20 minutes early.
Man, but some stuff just be like, they not finna be on time.
That is true. Some stuff,
people be like, people schedule stuff to like get people there early because they know they gonna show up late.
So they tell them an earlier time.
So that means you gonna get there 20 minutes earlier than the time that they gave you. Like,
hey, at least you won't miss nothing. Man, I mean, that's everything. Think about graduation.
But come on, what's happening in the first 10 minutes anyway? People say, hey. Well, I don't know about giving a handshake. I don't know about 5 with each other no more. Maybe hit them with an elbow these days.
Right. I'm kicking people. I ain't even touching with an elbow.
We doing the kid and play from now on.
Right, we doing the kid and play. What's up? This is how we shake hands.
I like to be on time, but certain places you just know they gonna be late, and I don't want to be there 20 minutes early, man.
What about the movies? You gonna be late to the movies?
But that's just previews, man. That's just previews.
That's true. I didn't know if you was gonna catch that.
You just miss all the previews. Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for me, I would definitely. I don't know.
Now, if you would have said 20 minutes early or 20 minutes late, then that's kind of a difference. 10 minutes, man, you ain't missing nothing.
y'all put that in the chat.
Our church service start on time, so yeah.
Mine does as well.
We start
on time. Yeah, my bishop don't play. He don't care who not there.
I was just about to say.
We start on time.
I was just about to say, my uncle be in the camera like, nephew, I saw you too. And he'll call you out while you walking up the aisle. Like
he gonna call you out for being 10 minutes late.
He be like, hey, something wrong with y'all alarm clock? You know, I'm changing it just off that. Because I go to church.
The back.
I go to church more than I go anywhere else. Like,
right.
Yeah,
I would definitely have to be 20 minutes early because I'm thinking about my jobs and I lead worship on Sundays. Like I can't afford to be 20 minutes late. You know, I have to be in place. So I would definitely go with 20 minutes early. I'm gonna be bored at some places.
Right.
You know,
you just don't be like you just suck it up and be like, I know what it is.
So, are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. Would you rather see 10 minutes into your own future or anybody else's but yourself, and all of this is for life?
So I can walk up to anybody and see 10 minutes into their future.
Or your own future.
At any time?
Yes.
I'm gonna take myself. I don't care about what y'all
Oh man. You remind me of this game called Mafia. I don't know if you've ever played it. But in the game you have a healer. And the healer can heal anybody or themselves. And some people just always just heal themselves so they don't die in the game. So
I'm just gonna walk up. I'm gonna walk up to you and be like, "Listen, the next 10 minutes, bro, you don't know what's gonna happen to you, bro."
But I know.
Hey,
we can do like these preachers be doing it. Just to make some money off of it. Hey, I know what's gonna happen to you in your future. Come ahead and sow a seed into me, and then I'm
and you know it's gonna happen because it's gonna happen in 10 minutes. It ain't like it's gonna be like in the
and it's
next
gonna be
2
accurate.
days.
We can make some money, man. I'm just kidding.
It'll manifest right in front of their face, basically.
Right.
Like, nah, I ain't playing that game, man. I want to see what's in my face. Let me see.
You know what? Honestly, I would pick to be able to see in somebody else's future for that 10 minutes, just because my heart is to help, and especially if something bad is getting ready to happen. Well, I guess it will still happen.
Man,
what if
you like? Could you intervene? Like, could you?
That's a good point. Because if I can't intervene,
I want to know what's gonna happen because I could prepare myself when my wife be making that face, and I'd be like, "What's wrong?" And she'd be like, "Nothing." But I'd be knowing something wrong, so I could be like, "Okay, here we go. I'm ready." So I'll be prepared for that. But nah,
you sure right. You already know, man. She's finna get on my head.
I can hear the argument before it starts. Okay, I just go act like I'm doing something. I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah, I would definitely.
That's tough though.
Yeah, that is tough. I think, like I said, I would have to pick.
I mean, I guess it can happen to you too. But I was gonna say, what if you see something like that should have happened bad to this person? Like, you can't stop it, but you it's almost seeing like a train wreck. Like,
we ain't got no choice but to make some money off of. Oh man. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
That's hilarious, though.
Hey, that's the only thing to do. You can't intervene, so I might as well sell it to you. Come on up in line. Come on up. And it had to be one person at a time. It couldn't be a line for real, because then the line will go past 10 minutes.
Right.
So come on up. Step on up. I'm about to tell you your future. Calling me now. All right, so we got 5 of them. So we're on 4 now. Would you rather go back to age 5 with all of the knowledge that you know now, or know everything your future self will learn now?
Oh. So wait,
so you can either go back to 5 years old, but you know everything that you know now, or you can know everything that you're gonna ever learn in your life right now.
Hold on. Let me give you my reasoning. Well, let me work this out.
Go ahead, my brother.
If I went back to 5 years old and knew everything that I knew now, I probably wouldn't make it to the age I am now, because listen, my mouth would be too smart. Where it'd be like, "Mama, come on, man." Like I'll be talking reckless to people. Like they
be like, "Mama, you hit me again, you're going to jail."
I'd be like,
"Oh man,
Mama,
this is abuse."
I know all this stuff. Like what? Like she probably be to killed me before I could even get back to my age. So
it'd be almost like Jesus was when he was
young.
My
father's business.
He like, I'm about my father. I know Mary was like, what
right.
you say to me?
My mama would have then slapped the business straight out me. So
you ain't hear nothing else about Jesus saying nothing else.
That
while he was young.
Right. That would be dangerous if that
would
was
be.
But
what about the other one? Knowing everything that you're gonna ever learn in your life right now.
That takes the fun out of it. Like, because okay, let's say I go back and I'm 5 and I know everything I know now. I can still learn stuff on top of it as I go.
Mm-hmm.
But to but to cap me out right now, like I just know everything that I'm gonna learn right now. I don't think I would like that. Like I feel like I'm capped out. Like, nah, I'm gonna go back to 5. I'm just gonna take my chances.
Ooh.
I'm gonna make this work though. I'll be a millionaire by the time I get back to this age though.
Right. You definitely right.
If I'm alive.
Say if you make it.
If I make it past my mama, that's the only thing. Like,
all you gotta do is think about if your kids knew everything that you knew right now, would they make it?
nah, because I got one who
Oh,
think he know everything.
mm, mm, mm.
And the quarantine ain't helping, okay?
Oh man, I know y'all parents are ready for y'all kids to do something. I know y'all probably don't want to send them back to school right now, but I know you all are ready for something to change.
Something.
Something to change.
Just don't know what, but something.
Something safe for them to.
So okay, so have you seen these? They're like these. They call like walking pods.
Yeah.
They look like see-through suitcases that you could put on.
Yeah, the kids. Hey,
Listen,
that's a good way for them to be able to play. Well, they
listen.
had their own.
I'm finna buy 6 of them for everybody in my house. We finna be back in the world, okay? We going back.
Oh man,
we gonna be on the baseball field in the pod. Come on, man.
That remind me of an episode of what's that boy name? Arthur. One he like something happened where everybody was getting sick, and he didn't want to get sick, so he put himself in a bubble and he was walking around. Oh man.
That's what we about to do.
All right, I got one more. You ready?
Yep.
I hope y'all talking in the chat. All right. Would you rather? This is for everybody out there. Would you rather have everything you are thinking appear above your head, or have your life streamed live?
Wait a minute. That's the same thing, Scooter. Everything I'm thinking streamed above my head, or
Like
have
everything
my...
you think, whatever you think, it just appear above your, or your life be streamed live where it's following your every move.
It's the same thing. Well, I guess not. Okay. So sometimes I have a hard problem keeping my thoughts in anyway. So, hey, listen. I don't think what I be thinking be that off. So, like, if you just happen to see it, hey, man. But to have my whole life stream, that means like
everything you do.
Me going to the bathroom, like everything, like nah, bro. I ain't going for nah. You can see my thoughts. Hey, listen.
But what if you at work and your boss is getting on your nerves and you start to think that?
Well, listen, my supervisor, she cool, so I probably don't really have them thoughts about her like that. But I mean, listen, if that was the case, listen, hey, I'm sure your supervisor know when they getting on your nerves, so if they just so happen to see it. It ain't no surprise. It ain't like I'm cussing her out. I might just be like, bro, she working it today. It ain't gonna be like it ain't like I'm saying that the crate like vulgar. So hey, she can see it. Hey, I'm going with the thoughts, Scooter. You ain't finna see my whole life,
man. That's. I'm glad you have all these wonderful thoughts.
I ain't saying they all wonderful, but it ain't. I don't think they that bad. They that
okay.
bad.
I would have to go with follow stream my life.
Dang, everything.
Only because you can control what you do. Sometimes them thoughts, and that don't necessarily have to be like in a negative way or a nasty way or anything like that. But sometimes, you be like, oh, this person really get on my nerve, or this person stink, or or you're not even trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but that is you thinking it's above your head.
I think that would be pretty comical though. Like to
Oh,
just have
You spending
Have my
time with your
thoughts that
wife,
pop up.
y'all sitting there watching movies or whatever, and you get to thinking, "Oh, I'm so ready for this to be over, so I could go do something else." And she see that.
But listen, at some point, you'll be able to get ahead of this thing, right? So you'll be like, all right, I know I'm finna think this. I might as well just say it. Might as well just let it out. Like,
Oh man, yeah, I would definitely, I think, say string my life
no, Scooter,
live.
you can't see everything I do, man. What?
Hey,
I said that I be out here doing stuff. I just don't want nobody to see everything I do.
yeah, that is true. People already on social media always have an opinion, so everything you do,
I mean, I guess if that was the case, it'll kind of keep you honest. Like, you'll be
definitely.
you always be thinking like, dang, everybody can see this. Do I really want to do that?
See, I feel like you would have more control over that versus your
No, but
thoughts.
that'll be too much pressure, Scooter. What if you just
Sometimes you
want
gotta
to?
cast those imaginations
That's
down, you
too much.
know.
That's too much pressure. What if you just want to be ratchet today and you just want to?
You know, they be like, now he done laid in that bed all day and ain't took not one shower.
This man ain't showered in 3 days. What is going on? Like,
Oh man, he gonna eat that for real? Like,
okay, so Scooter, some of the stuff that I be saying to my kids, not saying it'd be like I be cussing or nothing like that, but like, I, I be telling my kids certain things that I think they need to know for life. I don't know if the world is ready for this. Like,
oh, okay, they definitely gonna criticize your parent.
right?
Hold on, I gotta think about that.
Like for example, I feel like this is a good one. I was teaching my son how to take a bath, and I was like, "Son, if you ain't get in the creases, you ain't took no bath. You still stink." Like the world might not be ready for that. Like, what are the creases?
Yeah, I just had to think about that thing. See, everything I do.
Everything.
Oh, that's a hard one.
That is.
That's a hard one.
You can see my thoughts all day, bro.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I may have to go with my thoughts too.
Because okay, not saying that I live two lives, but like you're looser at home, right?
Yeah, that's
you
true.
ain't. So it ain't like you don't have that filter. You don't have to have that filter that
Yep.
you have kind of in the world that you have in your house. This
Yeah, because
your
you use different language and everything. You know
this
when
your
you and
safe place. You know you
right.
this yours. Like I don't know if I want the world to see everything. Not everything.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
If you just
I
happen to
mean,
see me say you stink today, bruh, take a bath, okay?
cause we already in cancel culture.
Right.
Oh, everything we do, we gonna get canceled, or everything they hear us
I
say,
can't
we
believe
gonna
he
get
talked to his
canceled.
son like that. Listen, I ain't got time. I ain't got
Oh
time.
man, yeah, that's crazy. I think I may have to go with my thoughts. That's gonna be
Right.
hard though.
But
That's
check
that's
this
gonna be
check
gonna
this
be
one out.
hard.
You see that?
I'm saying my thoughts.
My thoughts are pure. That's right. That's right, Amy.
Ah, only if that was all the
My
way
thoughts
true.
ain't that crazy, okay? So they can have these.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but the Bible tells me that I'm gonna have to cast down my imagination because some of those things that rise up in our minds are not all the way right. People like, now she had that shirt on last time.
But listen, man, that's not our problem. Okay, if you do
But
that,
I'm just saying, you think it though. Whatever you think is gonna appear above your head.
but I'm saying she knew she had that shirt on last time I saw her too, bro. This
And
thought
actually, know you know
this
she had
thought
that
is
shirt.
not a surprise to anybody because I'm pretty sure before she left the house, she probably was like, "Man, I had this shirt on last time I saw them. I hope they don't say nothing."
Right.
You just ran into somebody who noticed and you saw it.
Man, that's crazy. Okay, so I guess it's time to go ahead and get into our topic for today. Now, Carl, don't leave me by myself. I want you to kind of chime in every now and then too, because you experienced me in this, during this pandemic. Um, so we're talking about just everything centered around this COVID-19, the coronavirus, and this whole pandemic that we are currently dealing with. How to cope with that as a man, as a person that's over your family, a person that that's leading the family. Even if you're a female and you're leading your family, like how to assure or different pressures that you deal with, or different things that you may deal with on how to assure that your family is safe, to assure that you're safe. And I know we're all kind of tired of sitting in the house, bored, want to go out and do stuff. We've been in since the middle of March,
Middle of
so
March.
we're ready to go do things, but it's like you have to step back and think: is this going to?
At what cost?
Yeah,
You got to count up the
at what?
cost. It
Right,
ain't
at what cost?
man. Because believe me, I want to get my kids out. I want to be out, but not at the expense of us being in the hospital or locked up in the
Right,
house because we can't go
right.
out. Like, so
And the thing is, people are actually dying from, what's
yes.
going on in the world right now. It's not just, oh, they got a cold and they got better. Like people are literally dying on and leaving this
Yes.
world. I was looking at a podcast the other day and they were talking about this guy who went viral because he he was talking about how he didn't believe in the coronavirus. He was gonna go out and do whatever he wanted to do, and they literally showed like his timeline on Facebook, and it went from him
He didn't believe.
he didn't believe him
Then
out.
he went to like a
Yeah,
party or something,
yeah.
got sick. Somebody asked him, did he know how he got sick? He said no.
Right.
And then he
Then go
started.
to, hey guys, I'm having some symptoms. Then I went and got tested for the coronavirus.
I'm
Oh
positive.
man, I'm positive, for COVID-19. And then
An
it was
obituary.
an obituary.
Oh man.
Like
It's not funny, but it's
it's
like,
not, but it's sad because people are really not taking this thing serious. Like
and it's not, it's more people like that than you like think there are. Like it's really people out here who think like that this thing is not real. Like,
and then I guess it does not help when we really can't trust the media
yeah,
because they put out things that are not facts or things that are not true. We can't trust the our 45, or is it 46? What is he? Because he's telling us, well, you don't have to wear a mask.
don't
I'm
have to
not
wear
wearing a mask.
masks.
It's not that serious. But people are dying from this thing, and people are getting sick, and it's crazy. Not even along from the dying thing, just to see people go through this thing that you love is traumatizing. Like
Yeah,
it literally is so hard to see someone that you love, someone that you care for, deal with. Like it really will play on your mind. It's like,
it will.
yeah.
It-
And
the-
so go ahead.
I mean, like just seeing somebody go, like I couldn't even imagine going through it based on just watching somebody go through it, because it's like this is really real. Like I watched the news and like, yeah, I was one of those people who believed it was real before, but it was like it's really real. Like I don't even know how to explain it deeper than that. Like, because you watch the news, you hear these symptoms, like you get this and that, but until you actually see somebody like actually walking through this thing and like this is the real deal. Like, and for people to be out here like it's not affecting me.
Nonchalant. Right,
It's like,
right.
I don't want to wear a mask. You're infringing on my rights. You're infringing on my constitutional rights. And listen, I
Like
don't,
nobody wants to stop you from going to the places that you want to go. If this is all to to assure our safety.
right.
And it's like people just don't understand it.
So on the news this morning, they was talking about how all like the major companies were like moving towards making people wear masks. And one of the anchors put up a poll asking like, if these companies move to that, are you gonna still shop there or are they gonna lose your business? And I think she said the poll was like 80 something percent that said, yeah, they'll wear a mask. It's no big deal. But there was like that
Still,
other 13-15% that was like, no, I'm just gonna go somewhere else and shop. But okay, so let's translate this to school. So these families who believe we don't have to wear a mask, and they maybe carry it, no
exactly.
symptoms. So 13% of the families in schools have that. That's a lot when it comes to this because it doesn't take much to, man. It's so dangerous to think only for yourself in this situation. That's
That's the thing. It's a selfish act or thought to kind of take on that posture because it's like this can affect others. And not only can it affect others, but you have some people who are asymptomatic and they don't get sick or you know what I'm saying, or they don't have symptoms, but they still can carry it and pass it on to other
pass
people.
it on. Yep.
And so, right now, I feel sorry for teachers right now. I feel sorry for the kids. Like, and I feel sorry for the parents who have children who have to go to school because it's like our president right now is saying if schools don't open up,
They're
they're
gonna
going to
stop
cut the
funding.
funding. Yeah. So which means teachers are not going to get paid and all these type of things. And I just I don't understand how they don't see that this is a safety issue. And it's like I feel sorry for the teachers who have to deal with it that have children because it's like some school districts are doing 2 days a week or like one of my coworkers was saying that her kids' school are going to be getting out at 1 o'clock, which she's going to be still at work. What is she
Right.
going to do? Then she said they were going to cut the school buses. How is her kids going to get to school? So it's like it's so much going on in the world. It's so much that people have to think about to have to try to deal with in this time. Like I feel like the whole world is gonna need some counseling after all this.
We we
For real,
we
like
we already needed it, but
we
now
needed it before the pandemic,
it's
and
like
so
it should be
hospitals,
mandatory at this point. We all
yeah,
should just
hospitals are almost to capacity or there. They have to try to think of other ways to kind of get these patients in on top of what all the other people that come into the emergency room or what I'm saying for other stuff that's been happening. It's like it's a lot. Like
so this
I was go ahead.
so this how deep it got for me, right? So I'm sitting and thinking like, man, what did the people do back in 1918 when the flu came through?
Right,
Like
right.
I straight up Googled, did kids go to school like in 1918 when the flu, and like there was an article saying that um they didn't go to school, like, but it was a different time, so there wasn't as much technology, but like they said the teachers would send home like writing assignments or something like that, but
Oh,
like
okay.
parents were basically forced into basically the same position we got forced into now, to where we're really in control of keeping our kids on track if that's what if that's what we desire. But back then laws weren't like they were now, so like they just put their kids to work. So like They was at home, go work the farm. But I feel like we've advanced so far that there has to be an option, a better option, than to just be like, man, we don't see any end in sight, so let's just go back out here and
Right. Let's just go back out here and just hope for the best.
but I do know that these decisions are tough. Like it's not like a
Yeah, I would hate to have to be in the
right
the decision
to be
making.
to be that person to make that call. I
Yeah,
I would I would not want to be that person.
yeah,
But
that's true.
man, and I work for a school district, so I kind of see it from both ways. My wife is
Mm-hmm.
a counselor, so like I,
You are.
it's like it, that whole subject is like
It's what you're
the
living
number
right
one.
now.
Yeah, like that's our main conversation these days. So
Having to make decisions around that, like that has to be crazy.
and the
Like
and and the fact that like most people who look like us are unfortunately in fields where they're considered essential workers. So when the schools are making these half days or every other days, they're not set up to where they can have someone watch their kid or someone pick up
right.
their kid early or drop their kid off or so it's tough, man.
Yeah, man. So guys, with all of that being said, seriously, this is a very serious issue that the world is dealing with right now. And right now, we have to, first of all, trust God, believe in His word, and believe that He's going to help us through this and even come up with some type of something that can get us through this, that will heal us from this. But while we're in the midst of this, we really want everybody to be as safe as you can be.
Yes,
We know
please.
people want to go out. We know because this thing is very serious. Um, just a little bit to kind of go into my story. I Let me say it this way. My name is Scooter Lamont, and I am an overcomer of COVID-19.
Woo, woo,
Um,
woo.
I thank God that I made it through it.
Right.
Um, Not only did I make it through it and have it, but my wife experienced it as well. So just to kind of go into a little bit of my story, my wife was in pain one day, and she was in excruciating pain. And I got a call at work that that she was dealing with a lot of pain, and so I left work. I'm like, I need to go take my wife to the emergency room, to the doctor to see what's going on. So I left that day to take her to the emergency room. I got to her so fast. I know I got to her fast. But we got there around like 12, and we didn't leave till like 8 o'clock that night. But
Oh
she was
no.
experiencing some severe pain. When they got her back there, she had a fever. Like she had all of these things going on, or because she was experiencing the pain. She said she felt like it was a weight like in the back of her head, and it was so much pressure on her. So I was like, I have to take my wife to the emergency room because I have to see what's going on with her because
Right.
so much going on. You just don't know. And all I could think about is if I don't take her and something is what's to happen to her, I wouldn't even be able to live with myself.
Right.
And so we get there and we're in the room and they doing all these different tests and they're doing all these things and then they asked her, "Do you want to take the COVID test?" Of course, it's uncomfortable, so she didn't want to take it at first. I was like, "No, you have to take this." And so she took it. They said it was going to be like 3 to 6 days, 2 to 6 days to get the results back.
Wait, so
And
they
so
gave her the option whether she could take it or not. So
yeah,
she could have said no, and they wouldn't have
she could
given
have
it
said
to her.
no. I'm guessing because they
Oh,
asked, and I was like, "No, you have to. You have to." I know, it's gonna be uncomfortable because
yeah.
she has this thing where she doesn't like anything on her face or any of those type of things. So I get it, but I was like, with what's going on and the symptoms that you're having, like you have to take this. So meanwhile, we they got her temperature down for that day, and we end up going home. Um, she got some medicine. We had to go get that, and the next day she called me and tells me that her test was positive.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh my god. So at this point, I'm at work, so I have to call my supervisor. I'm like, I have to leave, leave. I have to leave immediately because my wife tested positive for it. So at that point, I'm like, okay, what do I do? Should I go get tested? I don't. At this time, I'm not feeling any symptoms. This is what I need people to understand, and I need people to hear. I was not having any symptoms at all. I didn't have a headache. I didn't have a throat. My throat wasn't hurting. I didn't have a temperature. I didn't have any of these things. I didn't have shortness of breath. I didn't have absolutely anything. And that's the thing that kind of scares me about how people are really walking around and probably have it and don't know.
Have
Because
no
if
clue.
that hadn't taken place, I would have still been going to work every day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And possibly spreading this to other people. So the next day, I'm like, I'm going to get tested. At this point, it was so much pressure on myself because at this time I'm trying to take care of her, but I'm still trying not to get it because at this time I don't know that if I have it or not.
right.
So I'm still trying not to get it. So I'm trying to make sure she's going to the restroom because at this time she is extremely weak. So one comical thing is I was feeding her like Uncle Pete on Soul Food. I would sit by the door and knock on the door and run, and she would have to come get it. But you know, um, at this point she was extremely weak. So that was crazy. So the next day I go to get tested myself. They tell me it's gonna be um 3 to 6 days before I get the results. So I'm sitting at home waiting on these results. At this time, I'm still not having any symptoms. So I'm thinking that I don't have this, but I'm trying not to get it from my wife because I don't know yet.
Right.
And so I'm trying to cook for her, but it was extremely hard seeing her in that condition because by this time, 6 days then passed. She's full into this thing, and she literally can't. It's hard for her to breathe. She couldn't even talk. Like people would literally calling her, and she couldn't even talk on the phone because
Right.
if she tried to talk, she started coughing and couldn't breathe, and she was throwing up, like all of this stuff. Like it was so very it was traumatic, and it was so hard as a man to us as men we want to be the fixers. Even when they're telling us things, we're in our mind
We
trying to figure out a solution. Like
we already trying to fix it.
so to be in this situation where, first of all, I'm trying not to get it myself because I don't know that I have it yet, and I'm still trying to care for her, and seeing her in this condition literally broke my heart. And then to know that this thing is something that people are dying from, I'm like,
And
God, what's gonna
the
happen?
seeing you all go through that made me think of those people who were in the hospital who couldn't have like those loved ones there
Right.
with them, like they're just there, like and with the idle mind, like you just that even the nurses and the doctors aren't really coming in to see them, so it's like
Right.
who knows what's going through their mind when they're basically isolated. Like the fact that you all had each other, I feel like
It
played
was
a
it played
huge
a big part.
role. Yeah,
It played a huge role, and that's one thing. Like the doctors were saying, that it's also a mind thing. And so I believe that's why a lot of those people in those hospitals die because you don't have anybody there to encourage you, to lift you
encourage.
up,
Yep.
and so you're already battling in your own mind,
Mm-hmm.
are you because it's a whole thing of uncertainty. You don't know when you're gonna get better, if you're gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you're battling in your mind already, and so I believe that's why a lot of people die because they don't, especially in those hospitals where your family can't get in to see you
Right.
because of what it is, and so when you don't have anybody there, that
Mhm.
that alone makes you want
People
to just give up.
people really underestimate like the community around you. Like if that that strengthens you when you have those people there, like,
Sir.
because even in your weak times, they'll come around and pick you up, like
Lift
even if
you
it's
up.
just like
Thank you,
cracking
Jesus.
a joke to make you laugh or whatever it may
Right.
be. Like that's really important. And when you're stuck somewhere by yourself, and it looks like everybody's like gave up on you almost. Like,
Right. Because everybody's still going on with their daily lives, and you stuck in the house with,
man.
I can't breathe. I can't, can't move like I want to. Can't get
Mm-hmm.
up and cook for myself like I want. Like all this. So those 6 days go by. I haven't heard anything back from the people. So I called them because I'm like, they told me it was gonna be 3 to 6 days. And the lady tells me, everybody's test that happened that day you came in came back invalid. So I'm like, huh? So I had to go back in and take another test.
Up the nose.
Okay, so the first time they only stuck it up one nostril, all the way up to my brain.
They touched
The
your brain
second time, the lady did it in both of them.
at the same time.
Oh no, it was after each other, but it was still like, oh my god. So this time they give me a rapid test. They said they had those that day I came in the first time, but they didn't have as many of them. So they wanted to give, and I didn't have any symptoms. So they was like they want to make sure they give those to the people that actually have symptoms. I understood, but with that mess up happening, they end up saying, okay, we'll give you a rapid test. We can find out in 10 minutes whether you have it or not. I take that, sitting in the room, I FaceTime my wife to make sure she's okay because she's at home by herself at this point. And they come back in, the lady comes back in and she says, unfortunately, you have COVID-19.
So what? Wait, when she came back in and said that, what went through your mind? Like what?
You know what? You know what? Honestly, I have been praying and I have been, kind of communing with God. So there was a peace that actually came over me at that moment, which is crazy. But there was a peace for two reasons. Because I was like, God, I know that I've been dealing with you, that you're gonna take care of me in this. And then it took the whole fear and the pressure away of trying not to get it from my wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I
it's
got
like, okay, at this point, you know. And so, granted, all this time she was staying upstairs in the room. She was using the bathroom up here. I was down in the basement in that bedroom with using that bathroom. And so, even after this, the lady was like, "Oh well, you and your wife can just quarantine together." I'm like, no, ma'am." Because remember, at this time, I still don't have any symptoms. She has all the symptoms in the world. And so I'm like, oh no. So I continued to stay downstairs. But of course, I had to cook for her and make sure she had the
right.
food that she, wanted, make sure she's okay, make sure see what her temperature is and all the stuff every day. And so it was so hard to see my wife in that state. At this time, I still didn't have any symptoms. I called and told my mom and dad and, all my loved ones, well, some of them, I ain't gonna say everybody because I didn't want to tell everybody. When you're going through stuff like that, you don't necessarily want to tell everybody.
Right.
And so, I it was so hard to see my wife in that state, like literally almost lifeless,
Right.
so hard to breathe. At this point, people are texting me, calling me, and you know what? I learned, and me and my wife was talking about this earlier. I learned that as a man, I have been conditioned not to ask for help
Hmm.
because people would call and text, and I'm so used to in my mind saying, "Oh, we're fine." She, have a little struggle here, but I guess I'm just used to saying that. I'm used
Right.
to being in that vein where, and I guess because I've never wanted, I don't like people to be able to know nothing in my face about what they done for me. So it has conditioned me to suffer in silence,
Yep.
so to speak.
Pride. That's
And I
pride.
think a lot of men deal with that
We do.
because we don't want nobody. First of all, we don't even want nobody to really know that we're dealing with something. And second of all, I definitely don't want you to be able to throw nothing back in my face about what you've done. And so I realized just today, like I was like, you don't know how to ask for help. And
I,
so
I'm gonna say this: you're not alone. Listen, I think a lot of us suffer from that. So yeah.
yeah. And so at this time, I'm seeing her suffer, and I go to sleep. I wake up a couple days after this, a few days after this. People have been calling and checking on us. Um, Now I'm starting to feel, symptoms. Now I have a headache that's crazy. My eyes was hurting, um, and I started to develop a light cough. I'm like, oh God, the
Right.
fear of the unknown is real, and that's why I say it's a mind thing. Because at that point, your mind goes
Yeah,
crazy, like
because by this time, all these seeds have been planted. Like
right, right,
whether you recognize it or not, like either from like you watching the news and you hearing these symptoms, or you see it firsthand from somebody in your house. So like it, just that little d- creep of a door opening, you get a oh man. So now it's like now you in your head. So
man. Ooh,
so okay.
Jesus,
So when they told you had it, that they didn't say like maybe try to take this, maybe try to do this, maybe
absolutely
they have
nothing.
no they have no remedies to try to help you walk.
And that's a whole nother thing. Like I don't normally get sick like that. I may,
Mm-hmm.
get sick every now and then, but I don't get sick like that where I have to take medicine and all that type of stuff. So I'm absolutely going into this thing blind. Like I don't know. They're already saying they don't have like a cure or anything to help you with it. So I don't know what to really take for these symptoms that I'm having. If I didn't have you all and other family members and definitely my wife to tell me, I probably would have died because I wouldn't have known what to take, like to kind of get me through that and to even, help strengthen and build my immune system. And so,
It's funny that you say that because I was thinking like anytime I get sick, it's like I'm wiped out. Like my wife turns into the complete nurse. Like if I had to like nurse myself back to health, I wouldn't know where to start. I'd be like, let me go get some Gatorade or something. Like I don't know. Like
mhm.
so, yeah, I'm with you.
so, so same here. My wife is normally my nurse. She normally, if I do get sick, she's the one, but she's down as well.
Right.
So I'm
You
down in
almost
the basement.
you almost feel
I'm
like
the, I'm
you by yourself. Like
man. Like I said, if it wasn't for people like you all and other family members and loved ones that
oh
was
yeah,
telling me what to do, and I wouldn't have known.
you see that
And
comment?
so,
You can't trust Dr. Google either, bro. He'll have you.
right, right, right,
He'll diagnose you with everything.
right. And so, let me go ahead and get into this. And so, at this time, she's experiencing all of this stuff. She's throwing up. She's, all this type of stuff. Um, Even trying. Okay, so um, the family decided to give her a surprise parade. I got calls and texts about this, and I was definitely elated for this to happen. This was before I found out that I actually had it. So meanwhile, this parade was supposed to come by the house. We are gonna set it up, and she, to kind of lift her spirits. And so that kind of goes into what you were saying earlier about how when you have loved ones, sometimes different acts like that can, encourage you, your spirit, lift you up, and make
Mhm.
you actually feel a little better. So at this time, when the parade's getting ready to happen, um, everyone knows that I have it as well now. So it turns from just a parade for her to a parade for us. And so I just want to shout out to the family and everybody that came by. Like it really, really made our heart glad. Brought food, brought cleaning supplies. They actually even got out and stood out in the lawn and said a prayer.
Yep.
Like that definitely encouraged us so much because let me tell you why. Because we're normally the ones doing that. We're normally, like I said, I don't get sick that often. So we're normally the ones doing for others. And to know that we have a community of people and family members and loved ones that loved us enough to take our time out of their schedule to come and show us love like that definitely and and bring food and cleaning supplies and medicine and like we literally had people coming after I started experiencing symptoms and I couldn't no longer like get up and cook and make sure that we literally had people bringing us food every day to make sure that we were good. Like that goes a long way. That alone probably helped us stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
Like so we definitely appreciate that. Like so at this time, my symptoms have went from the symptoms that I had. Now the taste is absolutely trash. Like everything that I tried to eat, I could taste it all night long. Like it was like an aftertaste that was the worst.
Yeah.
And so my appetite leaves me. So I had to literally push myself to eat. Like I one day I looked up and it was 7 o'clock in the evening. I hadn't eaten anything,
And didn't
and
even
I'm
think
like,
about it, did you?
didn't even think about it because I was in pain and trying to take the medicine and just sleep. The day you sleep, so I can. I woke up. I was like, I have to force myself to eat something,
Right.
and so I forced myself to try to eat or whatever. But I still had absolutely no appetite. And so during the course of this, I because I don't have an appetite and my taste is extremely off, I end up the only great thing about this, I end up losing 30 pounds. And so that's the only great thing about this.
that
So,
that remind me of a joke Kevin was saying. Kevin on stage, he was like, what I guess one of his friends got the coronavirus and he was like he lost 20 pounds. He was like, nah. I take it touching that wrong if it's gonna
that
let
was
me
the
lose 20
only.
pounds.
So of course, once I start getting better, I'm right here trying on stuff I couldn't wear before and modeling. My wife was like, "Now he done changed clothes 4 times." Like. So like that was the the only upside to it, and of course
I
since
know one
that
time we came by the house and Ebony screaming from the car, "Dang, brother, you looking skinny. That shirt looks big on you." And I'm like, "Did you leave that man alone?"
So man. So a couple nights was really, really a whole lot of nights, but a couple nights in particular for me was extremely hard. One night I woke up, I had shakes. I'm shaking.
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't even hold none in my hand because I'm shaking. And I look in the mirror and I'm literally pale. Like I was pale and I was like, God, is this it? Like, am I about to die? At this point, my wife knew that I was in pain. Like, and she would, because I couldn't get to her, she would try to put certain stuff in the room, so she didn't have to try to call me. So at this point, she's calling my name. I'm asleep. I'm I'm out, but she's calling me. I'm not responding. So of course everything's going through her mind. She even told me she like yeah, I went to find the insurance papers because I didn't know what was gonna happen or if
Oh,
something was to happen. What like that literally broke my heart.
right.
And because it's like both of us are, it ain't like just one person going through this. And I'm watching like both of us are literally going through this. So she even says that she had 2 nights where she knows she died. Like, and I don't think she's being dramatic about it. She said she felt like life leave her body. Like, and so like I immediately began to think like, God, what would I do if I lost my wife? Like,
Right.
people, man, what am I gonna do? Like, all this is on in my mind. Like, it was the craziest experience. I'm telling y'all this so y'all can protect yourself
Right.
because you don't. I would not have wished this on my worst enemy, and I don't have no enemies. But if I did, I wouldn't wish that on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at this point, not only have I had this going on, I'm sick. I'm feeling like I'm gonna die. I'm starting developing body pain. So I developed this pain on my arms and my legs, my stomach. Oh, my stomach felt like somebody was literally jumping inside of it.
Oh wow.
Like it was the craziest. And then I don't have no appetite. So, it's just like nothing's in there. So it's like, it was the craziest, scariest experience in my life. So meanwhile, I'm developing these body pains, and I developed what later on I found out were boils, and I developed them on my behind. Didn't at that time I'm thinking it was just pain, from the having the coronavirus. At this time, after so long, I'm starting to get better, and thanking God, for that. Um, but now I'm experiencing this pain with these boils, and I'm in excruciating pain. I can't sit up, can't when I there was no way of relief for me. Like laying down didn't help, all these type of things. So I, talk to people like you and my wife and other people, they telling me these different remedies to do. So I'm trying these things. Meanwhile, I'm getting better. This is after a couple weeks. I'm getting better at this point.
Right.
I get my clearance to go back to work. I didn't want to try to be shiesty or nothing, so I sent the papers to my boss immediately. But I'm still in pain. Like it was the craziest experience ever. There were literally a couple nights where I was literally crying,
Oh wow.
moaning and crying, and like so I ended up getting some antibiotics, and I was like, okay, I have to go back to work Monday, but I'm still in this pain. I'm like, I know I can't sit down at work. Like I know I'm not gonna be able to do this, and so that Saturday came. I told John that I'm going to the emergency room. They're gonna have to do something because I done did everything that everybody told me. I done took a bath in hot water. I done put hot towels on it. I did all of this stuff, and I'm telling you, I was like, if Job went through this with all the boils on his body, if he, I don't know how he made it. I don't
Right.
know how
Right.
he even said this because I was in so much pain. I would have taken anything that anybody. I said I was telling my wife. I said I understand why people get addicted to painkillers
Right.
because when you're going through those pains, you want something to take that pain away
You don't
immediately.
want to feel nothing. Yeah.
Right. And so dealing with that was the worst. So this Saturday comes. I have to go to work Monday. Um, I'm getting ready to go to the emergency room at this time because I'm like, I can't take this pain. And as soon as I was getting ready to get up and go to the emergency room, I felt some of them start to bust. And I was like, wow. Like, I was still in a little pain, but I wasn't know because it was throbbing pain. And it was hard to touch. I definitely couldn't sit down. Like, it was the worst pain I've ever experienced. And so, um, they start to bust or whatever. I'm taking these antibiotics so things don't get infected and all this type of stuff. And so I think that Sunday came, and at this point, I'm literally able to sit down, and I sat in the hallway, and my wife we were watching TV because at this time, both coming around. She's still kind of dealing with some things, but I'm feeling better. But I'm, still didn't want to be in the room with her. So like, I want to spend some time with her. So I would sit in the hallway. She's in the bedroom. We would watch TV, and I literally cried and I wept because I was like, God did this thing over the weekend, and I literally didn't know how I was going to, to deal with
Right.
it. I didn't know how I was going to go to work and be in that much pain. And so I said, we take the simple things for granted, the small things like breathing. Like I literally dealing with the COVID, I had a shortness of breath, like was crazy. Like it was
And
so
it was
crazy.
like what I mean. Did did it happen when like you tried to move around, or like you just laying there and you couldn't?
Oh
It,
man, it was crazy. Period. Because it's like how you breathe in and out. It was like almost breathing, trying to breathe in, but it's not going to the full capacity, and it hurts.
oh wow.
Like it was one day I tried to come upstairs so I can get some medicine. It took me like 5 minutes to come up the steps.
Oh wow.
Like it was the crazy and
So
and like to
it just intensified when you actually were doing like some sort of
right.
activity.
And for my wife to be dealing with the same thing, like she wanted me to help her change her linen on the bed, and I was like, I can't, can't do it. And so she said it took her an hour and a half to even try to change, like to change the linen on the bed. Like this is something that you people do not want to go through. Like whatever y'all can, protect yourself. And because this thing is so serious. And so like I was saying, people, we take the smallest things for granted, being able to breathe, being able to see, being able to make our own food, get up, do whatever. Just a small thing, go to the bathroom without being in pain. Like, we take those small things for granted. And I sat there and I just weep and I just thanked God because I was like, first of all, I wasn't able to do this a couple days ago. And
Right.
I was just thanking God because I'm like, okay, we starting to get better. My wife's still dealing with things because she had it more severe than I had. So she was in so much pain, and she still, deal with things from here and now because she's trying to get back to her 100%. But it was so hard, and we just both sat there and just thank God. And I literally went into worship because I was like, God, you are a keeper, you are a healer, and so many people died from this, and
Mm-hmm.
yet I was able to live. Like even when I thought I was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? God still protected me and kept me. And so it was it was an experience, man. I like I said, I wouldn't wish it on my the person I don't like the most. Like, and the thing is, people didn't know for real. This is like my first time really publicizing that I actually had COVID-19, and people just you just don't understand until you have to experience it for yourself or see someone that you love deal with it.
Right.
And so I thank God for people like you, and I don't want to start naming a lot of people because I don't want to miss anybody, but I definitely thank God for the family that came and provided for us. Her family, which is my family, and my family. They came, made sure we had food. Like one day it was so sad for me. I think this was around. Oh, speaking of that, I spent 3 holidays in the house. So around Father's Day,
Oh, yeah.
of course, I want to go see my father. I want to go spend time with them. I look up, my parents are outside cutting my grass.
Oh wow.
And so I'm literally at the door, like, I can't even go embrace them. I can't even, really spend time with them. And so it was like so sad that like it hurt that I couldn't like really spend time with my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, but it just really touched my heart how people from all around, all the family members, all the loved ones came and showed us unconditional love and was there for us in every, you know what I'm saying, in ways that you never really think of. And
Right.
so I definitely appreciate everybody who helped. Sorry for those who did not know. Um, I just wanted to get better, so I just kind of stayed off, social media. And what's crazy is, we've been doing this virtual thing, as far as church. Meanwhile, in the midst of this, I'm still doing praise and worship for two churches
Why are you going through?
while I'm going through this.
You could sing during this time?
Let me tell you, it was so hard, but you know how what your passion is, you do it helps heal you.
Mhm.
I told my leaders what was going on, and of course they gave me the option, not to do it, but I felt like that was one of the things that helped heal me to be able
Yep,
to do
yep,
what I do. And
yep. Carried
so
you through it. Yep.
I pushed myself. I was in, like, now granted, we keep our house at 70 degrees, or around that temperature. So, and some of the time that I was dealing with this, I had to turn on the heater because I was so cold.
Oh
I was
wow.
dealing with chills. One good thing is I never dealt with a temperature. I never did get like a fever or anything. My wife did. It was crazy. And you know um the doctors even told her, like, if your temperature goes up anymore, we're going to have to come get you because you're threatening a seizure.
Oh wow.
And so, like, man, to have all of this going on, it was the craziest thing for me,
Yeah.
for both of us. But whew, man,
And
I,
just being an outsider
whew,
looking at it, like I don't think I ever asked my wife as many times as I did, like, you talked to Janetta today? You talked to Janetta today? Like, because it was like, bro, we gotta keep them moving. Like,
and I appreciate it so much. The conversations, the phone calls, the drop, the drive bys, the coming by. Like, I appreciate those things so very much, because when you feel like life is over for you, it's like, what do you do? So I kept singing. I kept, pushing myself through praise and worship. Some people probably didn't even know that was on those streams. Didn't know. I'm sure they didn't, know, because
right.
I didn't tell anybody. But I pushed myself. One of the Sundays I did it. Like I said, we keep our house at 70 degrees, so it's normally cold, in the house. I was sweating so bad, like, and I was in so much pain. Like, I literally had to take a shower after I got done, because it was like it went
Oh
through my
wow.
shirt and everything. And that's how I knew. I was like, okay, I'm sick for real. So, I said all that to say, y'all, God is good. God is great. He is a keeper, even when you don't want to be kept, even when you feel like you're not going to be kept. God is a keeper. My condolences goes out to the people that had family members who did not make it through this. Meanwhile, we seeing all of these different stories online, and story, like, all these different stories of people who didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's breaking our heart, but it's also almost discouraging us a little bit. Like, are we gonna make it through this? But I thank God for His keeping power. Like, He really, He did it. That's all I can say. And He did it. A lot of times people think that they don't need nobody but God, but God works through people,
Yep.
and God works through family members and loved ones. Like, He used those people. So I thank God for our village
Mm-hmm.
that, help lift it. Everybody don't have that. And one thing I do know, this is also a mind thing.
Yep.
So,
And I just want to say, like, I, I hate that y'all went through that, but the fact that you told your story in such a way that it, like, if you still out here just being reckless, like, man, that that's
it's
dangerous.
real. It's real.
It's dangerous to be out here thinking whatever conspiracy you done heard or
Right.
whether the government is behind it or not, it's still real. Like it still will attack you whether the government put it out or if it came from who, whatever. It's still real. Like, so for you to be like, I'm not wearing a mask because this conspiracy or that, you need to protect yourself, whether it's man-made, a real disease, whatever. You still need to protect yourself. So, man, I appreciate you stepping out there and sharing your story because, unfortunately, there are still people who don't believe that this thing is real, and
Yeah.
you don't have to wear masks and wash your hands and what you should have been doing anyway. Like you should have been
Right.
washing
Right.
your hands and keeping your hygiene up all the time. But like in this time, it's more crucial than ever. Like because this thing, like the almost propaganda that like in the beginning it was like black people can't get it. Then it was like now children can't get it. Like all of that, like these like the scientists are learning about this as we
As it.
go.
That's right. That's
Like
right.
there's a new development about it almost every day. Like you
And
can't
now we're
just
seeing that
go,
kids are getting this thing. Like,
yeah. So since they like lifted the bans on like organized sports, of course the cases in kids have started rising because when all of this started, we sheltered all the kids. We shut the schools down. There was no sports being played. So of course the cases are going to be down. But now that they're out, this coronavirus doesn't have a certain age, sect, or race or whatever. It'll touch
it's
whoever.
affecting everybody now.
Yes. So for people to be out here and just like, oh, you people are
Reckless.
silly because kids can't carry it, or if they do carry it, they can't pass it. Like that's all nonsense because they come out every day with a new story. So man, be
And let me
safe.
say something. Let me say something to these people that these college students and all, y'all can get it too. I don't know if y'all know, but a lot of these college students are having corona
Having
parties,
parties,
and they're putting money in, and whoever catches this virus first win the money. What is the money gonna do for you if you're dead?
you 6 feet under, but you got that prize package.
Right. This thing is real. So I don't care. My thing is just because you may be asymptomatic and you don't have any symptoms or you're not, you can be a carrier of this thing and you can give it to your grandparents, your mama, your daddy, your kid. Like you can pass this on. Everybody's immune system is not the same.
Exactly.
Some people have other underlying issues that it can affect, and then things start to shut down because of it because it's fighting against it. And so we have to really be careful, not only for ourselves but for others. That's what the mask is for. Because if you do have something, if you wear the mask, it's going to protect other people from getting what you have.
Right.
Because, like we said, a lot of people have it and don't know
Right.
because they're continuing. Like I said, I would have continued to go to work because if that situation that happened with my wife, because I didn't have any symptoms.
Right.
So, which means, but I still was positive for it. You know what I'm saying? So,
And that's scary because just imagine how many people are out here who have it and have that mindset that
yeah.
I don't have to wear a mask. But
And,
you
and see,
all it,
even
it
after, even
and you don't even have to
Jesus.
you don't have to sneeze, you don't have to cough. You don't have you when you talk, things come out. Like
Yes, sir.
so it's man, I just when you see people out here just moving like everything just fine, that is so
That's
reckless.
reckless. Yes, sir.
Man, so reckless and dangerous for everybody else. Like the only way we gonna beat this thing is if we all come together and be like, all right, we all gonna because okay, so like if you like in like Asia countries, like it's like frowned upon if you leave out the house sick without a mask on, because basically they're saying like, if you're sick and you know it and you leave out the house without a mask on, you don't care about me or nobody else because
Right.
you like you just spreading all your germs and get everybody sick. Like,
And see, the
but
thing is,
they live
after
in a
I was,
society. They live in a
man,
society where they they kind of just go along. So like with
right,
whatever their leader kind of tells them, they they
they
kind of go
do.
along with it. But us
Hmm.
on the other hand, we're like entitled little brats. Like, oh no.
Yeah, man, I seen people on the news like, I'd rather die than not be able to go where I want to go. And I'm like,
And you just might get
what?
it. You
Right.
just might, that might just happen to you.
And the thing is, like, even after I was cleared, I still stayed in the house for a while because I wanted to make sure that I was good, before I went out.
Right.
It took me a while to even go to the store, but I knew I had to go, and make sure we had certain things because I was going back to work and my wife was gonna be at home alone, and I'm like, let me make sure she has everything that she needs, before I go. But even that, like my anxiety tried to get me. Like before I went in the store, like I was fearful. Like because it
Right.
was I hadn't been around nobody in almost a month.
Right.
So it's like
And the fact
if
that you
I
just went through
oof,
all that, you
right.
know what it was, like, man,
It's like I don't
I
ever
could
want to experience that again.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that is my story. That is our story. I'm sure one day when my wife wants to, she'll probably get on and tell her side of it because I'm sure she has a whole nother side of how she was feeling and stuff that she was going through. Thank everybody for their prayers.
Yeah.
Keep praying for her because she's still in recovery. Um,
But
but I
but she's
thank
doing
God.
much better. She's
She's
doing much
doing much better, yeah, much better. Um, but just keep us in your prayers and just continue to cover yourself and your family members because this thing is real. Stay in the
it's
house as much as
real.
you can. Try to figure out safe ways to have if you're gonna have a get together or what. Think of a safe way to do it because just getting together and laying on each other and being in each other's bubble, like we can't do that right now
We cannot.
because I done seen
Six
so
feet.
many people. I done seen so many people on their lives out at parties and doing all this type of stuff, and then week later, I don't feel good. Like we have to. I get it. I had been in the house for a month, and all the other time that we've been in the pandemic that where we couldn't go anywhere. So I get it. I'm a person that's an out body. Like I want to be out at somebody's house, playing some cards, doing something fun. So I get it. Like I was tired of being in the house,
And
but
I'm the person that would sit in the house and not even think twice about leaving. And I'm like, bro, let me out. But I'm not doing it because
right,
it's not worth it.
it's
It's
not
not.
worth it. It's
It's
not worth
definitely not
it.
worth it.
But yeah, guys, that's my story. I thank everybody for the comments and all that. I thank God for keeping me and my wife. Like it was nobody but God and the people He chose to sow into us
Yeah.
in the ways that they did. So you got anything else to say, Carl? Because I'm
No,
done.
no, we can wrap it up. I just appreciate you sharing your story, and I hope somebody heard this and really takes it to heart that this thing is no joke.
It's no joke.
Don't get caught up in what that man in that White House talking about, or because this thing is still working itself out. It's still developing every day. They got a new, oh, we found this out. We listen, protect yourself,
At
and
all costs.
and if you protect yourself, I protect myself. We got a better chance of making it through this. So
yes, sir.
I just want everybody to stop moving like this thing over, because it's not. Um, they talking about it might ramp back up in the fall. So man, just be safe, man.
And do
Like,
what it takes to build your immune system up before that
yes,
time comes. Like,
be
take them
wise, be
vitamins.
safe, man.
Yeah.
I know everybody
Man.
want to be out. I know everybody want to be out. It's hot. But listen, it is not worth it. Not at all.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And
It's
then another thing was my wife felt bad because I got it from her. So now she has that on her mind when I'm going through what I'm going through. Like, it's crazy. You don't want your family members to have to deal with that. You
nah,
don't want to feel the guilt of my mom got this from me. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
my uncle didn't make it because I gave, you all don't want that.
Right. To
So protect
compound
yourself.
all of those actual physical things that you're going through, like you take the risk of passing that on, and their immune system might not handle it as well as yours. So, man, just be safe out here, y'all.
Man. So again, we thank everybody who came on tonight, that logged on tonight. We thank you for all our followers and our we have to come up with a name for the people that be that,
Be commenting all show.
yeah, that be coming. We appreciate you all so very much. You could be somewhere else, but
Yeah.
we appreciate you all tuning in. Again, I know there were probably comments and questions in the chat where I have to go back and try to look at those to see if I can get those questions so we can have them for next time. But also, if you have questions, email them, or you have anything that you want to say to us or whatever you want to do, send them to man me too, man with three N's, man me too at gmail.com. Also, go over to YouTube, type in man me too, man with three N's, man me too. And I want you all to like, comment, share what we're putting out, and also hit the notification bell. Hit all so you all can be in the loop on every time we put any content out. Share this stuff with your family members. Share it with some men that maybe need to hear this. It may be some men in your family members or around you that may need to hear some stories on, what's going on in the world, how to protect their family, even different things mentally that, we all kind of go through as men. Like I told you all, I realized in this that I don't know how to ask for help.
Yep.
Now I will accept the help if it comes, but I realize I don't like asking for help. And that's something that we as men have to work through and we have to work out because we end up suffering in silence.
Yep. And yep, that's why we're here. We trying to break that silence.
We're trying to break those cycles. And
That those cycles of men just out here. I'm good. But
I'm telling you, we will I'm good ourselves right into the grave.
right to death.
Right to death. Because we don't want nobody to know I'm struggling. And that's in all areas, not just
Mm-hmm.
even with the COVID-19. If I'm going through financially, as a man, it's like I don't want to ask nobody for no help. Or I'm going through even health wise.
Yep.
I don't want nobody to know that I'm dealing with this. A lot of times we don't even want to know what we're dealing with.
Right.
A lot of men won't even go to the doctor because we don't want to hear no bad news. And so
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but we have to break these chains and break these cycles and really build up men. Like, we need this. Like, we need a platform where we can speak out on, and maybe one day we'll have some other guests where they can you know tune into the conversation along with us, along with the people in the chat. But we just really want to build up, because it's easy to tear down. It's
Yep.
easy for me to tear you down, but it takes some courage, and it takes some willpower and some strength, and it takes some wisdom to build somebody up.
There's somebody else.
All
Yep.
right, we thank y'all again.
Thank
Know
you.
that thank y'all. Know that God is real, He loves us. He wants to protect us, but we have to do our due diligence and do our part as well.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank
God
y'all.
bless you.
See you next time.
See you next time. Man, me too.
Man, me too.
Man, me too.
Leave house.